MaxSpeedTV would like to thank our partners here at MaxSpeedTV, starting with the Colby Eye Paints. If you're in the market for a new paint job for your car, check out Colby's Eye Paints on Facebook. Need a replica paint of your real-life car? Colby's Eye Paints has you covered. Check out Colby Eye Paints on Facebook. Also by Hershy Design. Hershy Design Company is your one-stop graphics shop if you're in need of an iRacing paint, league, team, or business logo, or want the logo on some sweet swag. Hit up Orion at the Hershy Design Company. You can find them on Facebook by searching HERSHY Design Company. Also by the Sim Speed Shop, simspeedshop.com. You can check them out for all your iRacing sim needs. Ohio IndyCar League jumping on board this season with as an official sponsor of MaxSpeedTV. They are also accepting not just patrons from Ohio, but from all over. Also, iBog for all your iRacing broadcast overlay graphics done specifically by Jason Allison, one of the masters at it. So thank you to Jason. And also, last but not least, Wise Guys. You can check them out at Reverb Nation. That is spelt with a Z. So check them out on Reverb Nation. We would like to thank all of the sponsors at MaxSpeedTV and partners.
Well, hello and welcome to MaxSpeedTV. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. My name is KR Stolfus, and I hope everyone is strapped in and holding on tight as we do a bit of a throwback race here at Darlington. We got several throwback schemes, a lot of IROC cars, a Terry Labonte throwback, a P51 Mustang throwback, several other cars, too many to mention here. So tonight on tap, 74 laps here at Darlington. But before we can get to Darlington, we gotta go through qualifying. Been watching a lot of these guys turning some laps. They're having a really hard time keeping it off the wall, and they are trying to run that razor's edge right along that wall on the high side. As we see the 22 right now working that higher lane, the 28 getting into the wall right there of Greg Willis. A.J. Rogers in the 17. He's way down the speed chart here, but Rogers able to pull out some good finishes week in and week out. Our top 10 so far in practice: Troy Radford with the fastest time, Kyle Gilbert second, Chris Berg third, Dale Osmond in fourth, Steve Baker with a 5th place time, David Roach, Craig Willis, the 16 machine of Russell Brown, Preston Boers, and Daryl Ricketts round out your top 10 here in our practice times. Don't forget, coming up next is our qualifying. Tomorrow, Wednesday, September 5th at 8 p.m. Central. The RFC Late Model Series will be doing the Demon Racing Karts and SimWorks 100 at Langley. Make sure you join us for that. And then Tuesday, September 11th, the Racing for a Cause Hershy Design Series will be doing the Lilly Diabetes 125 at Indianapolis. Make sure you tune in for those two races coming right at your ear holes. That is going to do it for practice. Qualifying getting ready to kick off. Fire up. All those other fancy words that are used to describe racing action. Well, we're going to try and bring you all the good stuff here tonight. First car out on track is the 88 of K.D. Osmond. Kenneth Dale Osmond. I never know what to call him. I'll stick with KD because I'm KR. I like it. It works. I'm going to ride on board with this 88 machine. Osmond's taking us oh so close to that outside wall. Green flag in the air for the 88 machine as he starts his first timed lap down into turn number 1. Being very easy on the throttle, modulating it very well, trying to gauge how fast he can get through that corner, how much grip level there is. Troy Radford in the 94 machine, he is out on his lap. Times will be coming in on the left-hand side. As you can see, the 28 jumping to the top of the charts. That is Greg Willis. Now Troy Radford on top. Peyton Johnson in the 85. The race winner this season. Right now he is in 6th place, but he's on his 2nd lap. We'll see if this 2nd lap can go any faster than his first one. And no, his 2nd lap is not faster. David Roach in the 09 machine, he is currently 2nd on the speed charts. Dustin Ping in the 23. AJ Rogers right now, he is in 7th place. He was all the way down in 15th in practice for quick time. But here in qualifying, he is inside the top 10. But just barely, as he is in 8th place. We still have several cars to turn a lap. Daryl Ricketts in the 44. Kyle Gilbert in the Terry Labonte throwback scheme in that 58. Gilbert jumping all the way up to 3rd place in that 58 machine. The ever dangerous to be out front, the 86 Jerry West. As he is going to move into 11th place on our qualifying times. The 44 Ricketts, right now he is in 6th place. As Daryl is shutting it down. Want to give a huge shout out to everyone in YouTube chat, especially Mr. Trillion from Belgium. Always a pleasure to be an international hit, and the boys at Racing for a Cause like to know that they are as well. So qualifying about ready to wrap up, so as we do, we're going to step away and play our Star Spangled Banner.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the. 'Cause 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 'cause
Field is starting to form up right now, and that means it's time to go through our starting lineup. Row number 1 will be Troy Radford in the 94 machine and David Roach. Row 2 is going to be the 58 of Kyle Gilbert and the 28 of Greg Willis. Row 3, Sean Wilder and Daryl Ricketts. Row 4 will be Dale Osmond and Preston Boers. Row 5 will be Steve Baker and A.J. Rogers. Row 6 will be Chris Mefford and Jerry West. Row 7 will be Dustin Ping and Tyler Hilton. Row 8 will be the 4 of Brent Cool and the 27 of Bobby Summers as he makes a return to the RFC field after a brief stay in the hospital. Row 9 will be Peyton Johnson in the 85 machine and Dustin German in the 43. Row 10 will be Andy Lambert in the 70, who did not make it to the grid, and Phil Otto in the 66. Row 12, Zach Coyer in the 81, and Ray Radford right behind him, or on his outside, I should say. Row 13, Tyler Sabo in the 34, and Nick Zontner in the 93. Russell Brown, Chris Berg, row 14. Row 15 will be Tom Quattlebaum and Doug Johnson. Row 16, Doug Wysocki, Aaron Tolhurst. And that is going to do it for our starting lineup here tonight. This field is ready to rock. We're ready to go as well. Troy Radford in that 94 machine, bringing them around slowly. Pace car peeling off. Waiting for that green flag to come out.
Green, green, green.
And there it is. The green flag is out, and away we go. Troy Radford getting a good jump over the 09 of David Roach. David Roach looking for his first win of the season here. He currently is into the chase on points, but he is the 13th driver of 13 eligible drivers, as we got one in the wall already. I believe that was the 91 of Sean Wilder. You see some damage on that thing already. So Sean Wilder getting that Darlington stripe early on here tonight. But as I was saying, David Roach looking for his first win. He is currently the 13th of 13 drivers eligible to be in the chase. He does not have a race win, so he is not locked in by that. He is in on points, and he is in danger. If we get a new winner here tonight, which is entirely possible, we have had 14 different winners this season.
The yellow
Four of
flag is
those
out.
winners are not chase eligible, as the yellow flag is going to come out. I'm not sure what has happened, so we will back this up just a little bit. So 34, Tyler Sabo running that P51 Mustang paint scheme. Got a little sideways coming off the corner, but looked like he got it straightened out. Down into the next corner, hard into the wall. Sideways, smashing that inside wall. Collecting another car. That car looked like it went airborne. See Tyler getting out of control here. As one driver did hit him and get that front end up in the air. So everyone will be coming down pit road just about. Sean Wilder coming down pit road to hit that Darlington stripe, buff it up a little bit. Jerry West in the 86 on pit road as well. Looks like a large group of the field has come down, but not everybody. Most of the field electing to stay out right here. Go to our race analysis. You can see our tire window is about 15 laps, but our fuel window is anywhere from 30 to 32 laps. Pit road speed limit is 45 miles an hour. Beautiful day for racing as it is 81 degrees. Track is a bit warm at 107. That just makes for some better driving for these guys. They gotta get up on the wheel a little bit, gotta wheel and deal some. I always enjoy when I get to a track and just gotta pick them elbows up a little bit. Get up on that wheel, drive that thing. Makes for a great time behind the wheel. So we are working our first caution here tonight. Troy Radford out front for the moment. So far, he has led all of our laps here. He's got a new car on his back bumper. That is the 58 of Kyle Gilbert. Field cycling around down through 1 and 2 in this egg-shaped track. Turns 1 and 2 are not the same radius as turns 3 and 4, so a little bit of a tricky track to get around. We do have 31 cars out on track. Andy Lambert in the 70 who missed the grid. He is currently scored 1 lap down. We'll see if he can get his lap back and get back out there. But I don't believe that he was... I believe he was 2 laps down when the caution came out, giving him 1 lap back. That is why he is still being shown as 1 lap down. Chris Berg in the 67, he is hitting pit road. Several drivers, as I mentioned, on pit road. The 27 of Bobby Summers, first car to take 4 tires in that 27 machine. We'll see if he can work his way through the field here. Just how important are tires? Well, we're about to find out. Bobby Summers taking 4 fresh ones, but he is all the way back into 19th place. So we'll see if he can work his way through this mess and get back to the front, and we'll know just how important the tires are. Restart coming at you. Your front row is going to be Troy Radford and Kyle Gilbert. And row number 2 will be made up of Greg Willis and David Roach. There goes the pace car. It is off. Troy Radford getting a jump over Kyle Gilbert in the 58. Gilbert caught napping.
Green flag, green flag.
Gilbert now is going to have to try and work some magic to close the gap on Troy Radford. Radford, one of those drivers that once he gets that clean air, he is hard to track down, hard to pass. He likes to be out front. So far, Radford has led every lap, but Gilbert in second place. If anyone can do it, this 58 machine of Kyle Gilbert would be the one I'd put money on. Meanwhile, David Roach, who started front row outside, he is losing another spot. He is falling through the field very quickly as the 55 of Steve Baker is going to get on by him. We got one car very slow. That is the 8 of Doug Johnson. Doug running a throwback paint scheme. That 8 machine getting up to speed now. Not sure what has happened to him, but he is rolling around very slow on the bottom. And now getting up as he has found a slot in the track where no cars are. Meanwhile, out front, the 94 of Radford opening up a little bit of a gap, just over half a second over Kyle Gilbert. Preston Bohr is in the 105 machine. He is currently in 4th place right now. Is Andy Lambert in the 70. He's running right around the bottom as Preston Bohr is going to lose connection there. Not sure if he's going to come back, and he does come back. He has lost a spot in the process.
The yellow flag is out.
As the yellow flag is going to come out once again. Big time trouble for a race winner this season, the 45 of Doug Wysocki. That car's still not tracking the right way he needs. We're going to go to our MaxSpeedTV replay, see if we can figure out exactly what happened here. Down in the corner goes that 45 machine, tucked in tight right behind the 81. Here comes the 67 on the outside. And I don't think that the 45 even knew the 67 was there. Jerry West getting a piece of that. The 66 of Phil Otto also involved. Go on the nose of Chris Berg. Some hard, close racing here at Darlington has put us back under yellow. And now everyone on a pit road this time. Kyle Gilbert, first one off pit road, making a great pit stop. Troy Radford looks like he is spending a lot of time on pit road here, getting his damage fixed, serving a penalty, and Radford, he's calling it a night. He has pushed that thing behind the wall. Not sure what has happened to him. But an early night for Troy, as he was out front. So we're going to step away for a moment. We'll be right back and get you caught up to speed.
Just like a movie, just like a storybook, we are the future, we're the ones they won't overlook. It's time to be the hero.
Welcome back as the field is all set. As we have had a switch around up front. Troy Radford came in leading this race to his pit stall. Got hit with a speeding penalty. He has fallen all the way through the field. We'll see if he can get back through this mess of a field. The 98 Aaron Tolhurst, the 58 of Kyle Gilbert. Your front row for this restart. And
Green flag,
Tolhurst
green flag.
going to get a good jump here over the 58, but Aaron out on older tires. So he's going to pull down to the inside. That is going to give the lead to Kyle Gilbert, as Preston Boers in the 105 is going to try and follow right in his tire tracks. As we have a very heated battle for the lead here. Boers going to look to the inside, lose a lot of ground as Kyle Gilbert stays to the high side and pulls away. We ride on board with Gilbert, looking out the back of the rest of this field. Gilbert now has just over 0.6 seconds on Preston Boers. Meanwhile, David Roach in the 09, our front row outside starter, he's fallen all the way back to 6th place. The 88 of K.D. Osbin right behind him. Osbin running a golden Goodwrench machine. Right behind them is the 28 of Greg Willis. Willis currently in 8th place. The 4 of Brent Cool, he is in 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is the 23 of Dustin Ping. We mentioned Troy Radford, that 94 machine, he got a speeding penalty. Right now he is all the way down in 19th spot. He's got to work his way through this field, along with the 86 of Jerry West, we saw get into some trouble early on. A lot of damage on that 86 machine. Both of these drivers, the 94 and the 86, have race wins on the season, so they do have a little bit of insurance on their championship hopes. But regardless, you always want to come out, you always want to perform well. It's been a tough ride for those two so far. The 52 of Tyler Hilton, right now he is in 17th place. Hilton has lost a little bit of ground as he started in 14th position. Looks like he's got 2 more drivers who are hungry to get by him. Hilton had to lift coming off the corner there a bit. That is going to allow Radford down underneath. Jerry West going to follow in Troy's tire tracks. The 69 machine of Rick Greenaway running a True Value IROC paint scheme. That's what those True Value paint schemes are. They are a throwback to the IROCs, International Race of Champions. Rick Greenaway in the 69 machine. He started 21st up to 15th. So having a good race going so far. Still here early in this event. Might be able to move up a little bit more before this is all over. But I'll tell you what, the 67 of Chris Berg, all over his back bumper. Chris Berg looking to the inside here. Unable to make the pass. Chris Berg up on the wheel there, really having to turn that thing. Now he's making a dive to the inside here. Can it stick this time? Down goes Chris Berg to the inside. Rick Greenaway into the wall. Hard contact with that outside wall. And Greenaway's still not done crashing. He is just trying to figure out where he wants to do it. Finally gets that 69 machine under control as the 91. Sean Wilder almost gets into the back of him. So big moment for Rick Greenaway, but able to keep it under wraps. Meanwhile, Zach Coyer in the 81, he's letting the 70 and the 16 go by. The 16 of Russell Brown Jr., that was a pass for position. The 70 of Andy Lambert is now 2 laps down, along with the 45 of Doug Wysocki. That is 29th and 30th place respectively. And Steve Baker in the 55, he's been sitting on pit road with heavy damage. They are working furiously trying to get that car back out there, but just have not been able to. We'll see if he can make it. The 93 of Nick Zotner, running right along that wall, tracking down the 85 of Peyton Johnson. Nobody look at Peyton Johnson's wheels, as they're supposedly the wrong color. So we won't show his wheels. Ooh, Johnson and Zotner are going to get into that outside wall at the same time. And you see Johnson has really crashed up that right front fender. Really worked on that Darlington stripe. Meanwhile, the battle up front has changed a little bit. Daryl Ricketts in the 44, he is now in second place. A.J. Rogers, our points leader coming into tonight. Or I should say, the one who has accumulated the most points this season without a race win, has moved his way up into third place. Speaking of the points, here they are: Eric Teska, Jerry West, Sean Cool. Those are your top 3 right now. AJ Rogers, John Johnson, those 2 are in on points. Chris Medford has elected to bow out of his point standing. That has allowed David Roach the 3rd and final unclaimed spot here in the championship standings to make the chase. If we do get a new winner, that will push David Roach out and the new winner in, as long as they have met all the race requirements. And they were not already in on points. So 46 of Chris Medford able to join us tonight, running an IROC paint scheme, a blue and black one. Working lap 33 is 74. We're getting closer now to the halfway point. Right on board with Chris Medford. It does look like Medford's got a little bit of a crinkle to that right front, acquiring his Darlington stripe. It's always enjoyable riding on board with these guys. They take us for a wonderful ride out here at Darlington. As the 28 of Greg Willis closing in on the 46 now. Ooh, as Medford is going to get in the wall there. That's going to cost him some time. And here comes Greg Willis with a great run. Medford going to try and throw a block, but it is not going to stop that 28 machine, as Greg Willis is going to get on around Chris Medford and take over the 4th place position. As we are nearing the halfway mark of this race, the 58 of Kyle Gilbert is out front. He is really starting to pick him up and lay him down here, as Doug Johnson in the 8 is the last car on the lead lap. And that's about to change, as Gilbert's going to dive down to the inside here, put another car a lap down. That leaves us with 24 cars on the lead lap. Aaron Tolhurst, who was out front for a few laps, has stayed out on some very old tires. He's fallen all the way to 24th position. He is going to be Gilbert's next victim as we look out the back at Tolhurst. Out the back of Tolhurst's car at Kyle Gilbert. Check in on the 86 of Jerry West. He has moved into 14th position. Just in front of him is the 94 of Radford. Radford working his way through this field, trying to recover from his speeding penalty. The 27 of Bobby Summers sliding up in front of him. And the 43 of Dustin German. These three battling for position here. All three drivers running some throwback paint schemes. Dustin German, though, he's running his usual paint scheme, which has always been a throwback to Davey Allison Haviland car. Troy Radford is going to get around Bobby Summers there and set his sights on the 43 of Dustin German. In 10th place is the 88 of Osmond. As we got one on the infield there, that is Preston Boers in the 105. He's keeping it down below the racing surface, so no yellow has come out. We'll back this up a little bit, go to our MaxSpeedTV replay. Show you what happened to Preston. Preston riding around hard into that outside wall, trying to save it, smashing that inside wall as it locks the brakes down, keeps it down below the racing surface. And now he is on pit road, as we also have Kyle Gilbert, our race leader, hitting pit road. So green flag pit stops underway here. Gilbert pitting from the lead, and he's pitting early. We'll see just how early and how soon this plays out for him. If this stays green the rest of the way, he should be good to go to the end. He wants to be the first one out on fresh tires. As several more drivers now coming down pit road as well. AJ Rogers in the 17 machine, though, he has not made his pit stop yet. He has picked up a point for leading a lap. But right behind him is the 28 of Greg Willis. Greg wanting to lead a lap as well. So with green flag pit stops underway, we'll have to wait for this to cycle through, see how everything sorts out. But with Kyle Gilbert hitting pit road, he might be able to expand his lead some. And here comes Rogers, slowing it down to make his pit road entrance. That is going to give the lead to Greg Willis in the 28.
The yellow flag is out.
And the yellow flag has come out right as we are in the middle of a green flag cycle. The 44 of Daryl Ricketts going around and getting in trouble here. This is really going to shake the field up. So we watch Daryl Ricketts in the 44 machine go to the inside, maybe a little bit of netcode there. We ride on aboard with Ricketts, who's coming around a lap car here. One more time from the outside. And that is definitely what happened. Ricketts, the victim of some net coding. That is never what you want to see here in iRacing, but that is exactly what has happened. So a few drivers who stayed out, who did not pit, they are coming onto pit road now, going to get their car serviced and get back out there. One of those being Greg Willis in the 28, pitting from the lead. And with this caution coming out, it's going to be interesting to see exactly who ended up a lap down, who was back on the lead lap, and how did it all shake out. But that has played, for the moment, right into Troy Radford's hands, as that 94 machine is going to come off pit road, scored in second place, right behind the 28 of Greg Willis. And it looks like Kyle Gilbert in the 58, who was the first one on pit road for this green flag cycle, pitting from the lead all the way down in 15th spot. He is trapped between the leader and the pace car. And is going to have to take the wave around to get back on the lead lap. Wow, what a change of events. What a absolutely insane race this has been so far. Early leader Troy Radford hit with a speeding penalty, falling all the way back to 19th place. The racing god smiling upon him, granting him a caution right after green flag pit stop start. He's going to end up back in second place. But for one's fortunes, there's another misfortune. A.J. Rogers, Kyle Gilbert, those guys in trouble now here as they are going to take the wave around, but they are trapped between the leaders and the pace car and mired deep in this field now. Man, oh man, what a crazy turn of events. Lights are out on the pace car, field going past. These are all of our wave around drivers. Quite a few of them. We'll see if they'll be able to get around in time, or if there's going to have to be another caution to allow them to catch up. Another caution lap. Speaking of cautions, this is our third caution for 11 laps. We got 26 laps to go. 5 lead changes. Pace car peeling off. Here we go once again. Greg Willis on the inside. Troy Radford on the outside. They're on the loud pedal.
Green flag.
Here comes the 4 of Brent Cool down the inside, looking to get 2 cars, 1 straightaway. Brent Cool diving down to the inside. He is going to clear the 94 Troy Radford. Radford going to try and pull a crossover move as Brent Cool is going to get in the wall a little bit. Had to check up. That will allow Radford back on by. Troy driving for all he is worth. Brent trying to hold on to it as he got into the wall there. That one settles itself out with Brent Cool into third, Radford second. Greg Willis loving that battle. It allowed him to break away a 1 second lead, or just under 1 second. Meanwhile, David Roach in the 09 machine, he is trying to get that race win, lock himself into the chase. Right now he's in 4th place, doing what he needs to do by running up front. Here comes the 67 of Chris Berg on the 91, Sean Wilder. Berg to the inside, making it pass there. Put Berg into 5th place. Sean Wilder down into 6th. The 86 of Jerry West, we saw him get involved in an accident earlier. Here he is now diving down underneath the 91 of Wilder as Wilder's going to get into the wall there. Contact made. Looked like the 93 might have bumped the back bumper. Sean Wilder held onto it. We stay green, but Sean losing a lot of ground there. The 08 of Tom Quattlebaum and the 27 of Bobby Summers. Those are some IROC paint schemes. Those IROC paint schemes sure do look good. Tom started 29th. Actually, he didn't take a qualifying time. And he has moved all the way up into 11th place. Meanwhile, Kyle Gilbert in the 58. Race leader when green flag pit stop cycle started. And a caution came out at a very bad time for him. He is now in the 13th spot after falling all the way to 15th. AJ Rogers right behind him in 14th in that 17 machine. Tyler Hilton in the 52 and 17th. Phil Otto in the 66. He is running in the 18th spot. And the 88 of Dale Osmond diving down underneath Otto. That is a pass for position. So give Osmond 18th now and move Phil Otto into 19th. As Phil Otto is the last car on the lead lap here. Aaron Tolhurst in 20th is the first car 1 lap down. Radford is closing in on Greg Willis, but with 19 laps to go, who is going to have what left in the tires? Is Troy having to burn up his equipment to catch up to Greg? Is Greg overdriving it to try and stay in front of Troy? How is this going to work out, folks? I don't know. It's too soon to tell, but I'll tell you what, that Greg Willis in the 28 machine, he is about as hungry as they
The yellow
come,
flag is out.
wanting a race win, and the yellow flag is going to come out as Bobby Summers in the 27 machine going around along with the 69 of Rick Greenaway. Back this up, go to our MaxSpeedTV replay. Summers on the inside, Greenaway on the outside. Greenaway getting into the wall, collecting Summers with nowhere to go. Oh, big contact with Doug Wysocki. Aaron Tolhurst getting a piece of it as well. As both cars stopped right in front of the field. See the crash happening up ahead? don't think Doug stood a chance. Never saw Rick on that high side. Very unfortunate for Doug as he is back on pit road, not having the race he would like to have. Meanwhile, most of our leaders all have pitted. Greg Willis, Troy Radford, those two positions did not change for them, although Bobby Summers, or I should say Dustin German, is being scored as our race leader for right now in that 43 machine. Greg Willis second, Troy Radford third. So Dustin German not making a pit stop. So guys, we're going to step away for a moment. We'll be right back after this. Field working its way down the backstretch. The lights have gone out on the pace car. We got 14 laps to go. When the green flag drops, that'll be 13. Dustin German making a gamble, staying out on older tires. Greg Willis in the 28. First car out on fresh tires. Here we go. Green flag is out. We are underway once again as Dustin German trying to pick up another race win in this season. He's going to have to hold off Greg Willis. And fresh tires. Here comes Willis to the inside. Down into turns 3 and 4 they go. And Greg Willis going to get out front. But here comes the 67 of Chris Berg. He is on the move right now, making a solid effort, trying to get by Dustin German. Unable to do so. And Troy Radford is in the 4th place. Rounding out your top 5 is the 86 of Jerry West. Down to the inside they go. Chris Berg looking to the inside of Dustin German. Can he make it past this time? Contact with the wall. German getting spun. Hard contact.
The yellow flag is out.
That is going to bring out the yellow once again. Several cars getting involved in this one. Chris Berg, I'm sorry, Brent Kuhl caught up in that. And it all started when Dustin German got into the outside wall. contact being made. The 09 of David Roach going around. Brent Cool involved. 22 of John Johnson getting a piece of it. A lot of cars heavily damaged. And this is just what Greg Willis needed to stay out front. With 10 laps to go, we're back under caution. Maybe Greg didn't want this, because he's going to pull off another great restart. A few cars on pit road. The 46 of Chris Mefford. He is on pit road along with the 27 of Bobby Summers. Summers trying to get some of that damage fixed that he sustained earlier. Get ready for the final run to the checkered here. So 28, Greg Willis doing a throwback to Rusty Wallace. Being your race leader, has led for 19 laps. He's got a chance to lock up leading the most laps, but he's gonna have to be out front up until about the white flag. That'd be when he locks it up, as Kyle Gilbert has led for 24 laps out here tonight. Greg has led for 19. Troy Radford led for 13. So good chunk of laps chewed up between those three drivers. Very topsy-turvy race. Nothing at any point in time has been set in stone, and just when you think it's going to settle down, it gets flipped upside down and around, and we have new cars up front, we got new cars in the back, and we have a new 5th place driver. That's the 58 of Kyle Gilbert, who was unfortunate in the middle part of this race, has battled back, and here he is now looking at starting on the 3rd row inside here. And that is why you do not ever quit. You keep digging, you keep chugging along. Kyle Gilbert could pull off a top 5, a great recovery after unfortunate timing for his pit stops. Here we go, folks. Greg Willis in the 28. Pace car peeling off. And there they go, getting on the loud button. Chris Berg staying tough on the outside.
Green flag.
Berg wants another win. He's looking for his 2nd win of the season. Greg looking for his 1st win. Here comes Chris down on the tire tracks of Greg Willis. Through 1 and 2 they go. They get away cleanly there. Berg with a good run down the backstretch, but can he make it stick on 2, 3, and 4? No, he has nothing for him. With 6 laps to go this time by, this race is getting to the end here. Here comes Chris Berg. He's made his move to the inside. Unable to hold on to it, as Greg is going to just drive it in deeper into the corner. Meanwhile, Troy Radford, Jerry West, little bit of contact there. Radford losing some ground. Jerry West in the 3rd spot. Kyle Gilbert now 4th. Radford falling to 5th place. 5 laps to go. Greg Willis out front, starting to open up a little bit of a gap over Chris Berg. As Kyle Gilbert's going to get into the wall, this is going to stack the field up. Several cars spinning. Yellow flag is out, and that will probably do it. That will give the race win to Greg Willis. As we had a big stack up coming off of turn number 2. So we ride on board with Nick Zotner to see what happened here. Troy Radford, Kyle Gilbert making contact in the corner. See Troy Radford and Kyle make contact. Nick coming up the track, smashing that wall. 4-5 drivers go spinning, including the 88 of Dale Osmond, the 17 of A.J. Rogers, the 91 of Sean Wilder. All those guys going for a wild ride there at the end. But with 3 laps to go, and the caution coming out, I believe that is going to do it, as the field is just now catching up to the pace car. Greg Willis going to be able to pick up his first win of the season. Man, oh man, what a race this has been. Throwback paint schemes abound. Action in every part of the track. Another race winner. Greg Willis going to pick up his first win of the season. What a wild ride this has been. I don't know about you guys, but I am out of breath. I'm worn out. And we only did 74 laps, and I was in the broadcast booth. Just imagine how these drivers feel. This time the white flag will be showing. Greg Willis, every little thing in your car, every little noise, all of that is just compounded. And all you can think is that better not be an engine blowing. Oh no, do I have a tire going down? What's falling off my car? You just start going through everything. What could go wrong here? What could happen? Why is all of this going on? But now, with 2 laps to go, or I should say we're on the final lap now. Greg Willis hoping that the tires don't fall off, hoping that the engine doesn't blow, hoping he has enough fuel. Winning a race under yellow isn't how you plan to win a race. You'd like to win one, battling for the lead, epic moves. But I'll tell you what, Greg ran up front all race long, was a contender throughout the whole night, and was in the right place at the right time when the yellow flag flown for the final time here tonight. Final time through 3 and 4, tucked in behind the pace car. Checkered flag in the hands of the flagman. And Greg Willis is going to cross the line, picking up his first race win here in the Xfinity Series. Congratulations, Greg. Job well done in that 28 machine. Coming home second will be Chris Berg. Third place will be Jerry West. Troy Radford in the fourth, and Tom Quattlebaum winding up in a fifth place. So guys, we're going to step away for a moment and set up our post-race show. All right, guys, welcome back. We got Greg Willis picking up his first win of the season. Congratulations, man. How do you feel?
Oh, buddy, I'll tell you, I am just beyond, happy. A lot of the drivers know, not how many of the people watching know, but my wife, we just had our first baby 6 days ago, 8.5 years of waiting, and so he's in the other room right now. My wife was like, I didn't know if I was going to race, and she said, just go in there and do it. I said, I ain't had but like a day of practice of that. She said, go on in there and do it, and I'm glad I did, man. So I'm just beyond excited.
A new baby, a new win, a new trophy to hang on the mantle. I'll tell you what, you did a great job all night long running up front. Yellow flag came out final time. You were in right place, right time. But not only that, you end up leading the most laps out here tonight as well.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Again, man, this is just awesome. I love this place. I've come here as a kid and watched a few races as a kid. It's one of the hardest places on the circuit. To be able to come out here and just run decent meant a whole lot, and to be able to get the win. This is the best league. You with KR, you're broadcasting the best in iRacing. So to come out here with all these great drivers and to win at one of the toughest tracks, it speaks volumes to WB3 Motorsports, which is the team that me and Dave and Chris Berg and Troy are all in. We really put a lot into this. RFC is a great league, and it's awesome to have another win for WB3. Berg got him one earlier. Just got to get Dave to get him one. I do want to say a big shout out to Berg. That second to last restart, he really drove it into one there, and he could have drove in a little deeper. And I noticed that he didn't have the preferred line, so he kind of gave me a little slack there. So to Chris Berg, I really appreciate that, because not sure how we'd have come out of two.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, congratulations on your race win. That was a wild ride, but our throwback paint scheme's out here tonight. Tell us a little bit about your throwback scheme.
Yes, sir. Grew up a Rusty Wallace fan my whole life. Just always loved the way he raced, loved what he stood for, loved the fact that he wasn't showboat. He just went out there and did what he did, and I've always wanted to run one of his schemes. And when the opportunity came about to run the 25th anniversary scheme, was something that I thought was perfect Darlington race scheme. So that's just a throwback to my favorite driver. And I hope it looked good out there.
It sure did look good. Led the most laps. Spectacular job out there tonight. Congratulations, man, picking up that race win. And go give that new baby a hug and a kiss, man.
Yes, sir, man. This one goes out to my grandfather. That's what our race team's named after, WV3, William Bryan Longest III. So this one's for Pop Pop. I appreciate everybody who watches and drives. This is the best league out there. Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Greg Willis, our race winner. Giving that one to Pop Pop. Now, Chris Berg, finishing second in the 67 machine, got a big time mention and a thank you from fellow teammate. So, Chris, finishing second, at one point you were mired way back in the field. How'd you do it?
Well, first, got to give a shout out to my teammate at WB3, Greg. He'd been needing that win for a long time. That's awesome to see. And man, it was a tough race for me. I mean, I was in all the practices and everything. I was probably top 3 fastest, and I just screwed up in qualifying and then just marred in the back and trying to work my way up. Got ran into down the front stretch and had to pit, and then got kind of ran over in the corner too and spun out and kept my lap, and just I knew I was fast. I just had to slowly work my way up and got the second, and I was happy. I was going to try going for the win, but I didn't want to wreck Greg at all. That's the last thing I want to do is wreck somebody for a win, and he'd been running so good and so smooth all day. Had to back out going into one, even though I had the momentum, and caution comes out. I don't think I had anything there because I had heated up my tires a little too much trying to run hard in 3 and 4, but it's a great race all in all. I love this track. Wish we came here 2-3 times.
It was a spectacular race. Great job on your part. Good recovery. But overall, man, kind of an up and down, topsy-turvy race for everybody. But here you are finishing second.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. Only wish I would have had first. I love this track, but you know what? Greg got it, and it was perfect win for him. He ran the perfect race right there.
All right, well, tell us a little bit about your paint scheme tonight.
I had to throw back. I mean, I run number 67. It's a family number, and Jeff Gordon was my favorite racer until he retired. I mean, should be a 7-time champion if it wasn't for the chase, but I had to throw back to his first car that he ever drove in the Busch Series, the 67 Outback car at Rockingham back in 1990.
Well, that's pretty far back, man. Well, car looks good. Great job on your part. Any other shout-outs, thank yous you'd like to give?
Just shout out to the RFC, my team WB3, teammates Greg and David. I mean, all of them ran strong all day, and David's gonna get one of those here soon. Just gotta get that monkey off his back, and he'll be up there in victory lane.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and once again, congratulations on second place.
Thank you. Thanks for doing an awesome broadcast.
Oh, I don't do it that awesome. You guys just drive and make me look good.
Nah, you do a great job, man. It's always fun to rewatch.
All right, that's Chris Berg, our second place finisher. Now it's time to move on to Jerry West in third place. And Jerry, that car looked like a wadded up soda can. Somehow you found a way to put it in third place.
Oh yeah, we had a tough night tonight. Had a little bit of left front damage there early on, and then I got a little right front later. I ended up getting it fixed, so I had most of the wrinkles out of it there at the end. But yeah, it was a tough race out there at Darlington. A lot of cars out there, a lot of patience. I seen a little bit less towards the end. I see, it gets towards the end, people race a little bit harder, but all in all, it was a pretty good finish here for us tonight, and that's all you can ask for.
Now, finishing third here, at one point you were mired all the way back in the 20th. How does a driver's mindset have to change to adapt to, say, running in third place versus running in 20th?
Yeah, so coming into this race, and most races, you won't see me up trying to get the pole or starting up front. I usually try to start, right behind all the guys that push really hard early on. I'm more of a long run driver, so I don't like to get the pressure there early on, and Darlington being a hard track, So I want to qualify up there a little bit. But I came into the pits on that first caution just to put myself a little bit further back. I'm not so sure if that was the right call. I mean, finishing third, I guess it worked out for me. It did make it a little bit harder. I got caught up in a wreck there on the front stretch that I just couldn't miss. I didn't see it coming. Usually the wrecks happen, in the turns. So, tried to lock it down a little bit. And that's where I got my first bit of damage there. And then, of course, going into one on the outside is you're trying to give the guys room on the bottom and let them go on. When you go into one, if anybody's ever been to Darlington, they know how that goes. But towards the race, I guess it's not as common.
Well, regardless of whatever strategy, you finished third here tonight. Great job. And we'd like to talk about your car, even though I don't think you had a throwback paint scheme on it. But everyone's showcasing their cars tonight. Tell us a little bit about what you had on your car.
Yeah, I missed the note on the throwback, or I would have ran one, and I would have loved to run it. So I went with the normal Sim Race TV network on the hood as usual, which is a great little network. Check them out if you're out there watching. They're pretty fun. A lot of dirt racing goes on over there, but yeah, I mean, I wish I could have threw the throwback scheme on there. Probably would have went with Tony Stewart or something in that nature. So yeah, I'm a little bummed that I missed that.
Well, we'll let it slide this time, but next time you better be paying attention.
Hey, absolutely, yeah, and I also have COPD on the hood. All the people out there struggling with that, of course. We are racing for a cause over here, and shout out to my mom. She suffers from COPD and emphysema, so we try to show support for all the people out there. We know how hard it is for them, and that's one of the best things about this league, besides all the drivers and the admins and the racing that goes on. Is we get to put out, our support for our people, out there. So, it's just awesome. Makes it a lot better over here, having a cause on your car and all that good stuff. And, all the admins, they make all this possible. So, big shout out to those guys. Definitely love the people that watch, they're what makes it possible. And, if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be nobody, neither would us. So, we like to put on a great show for the people out there watching, and thank all the drivers, man, all the drivers that show up week in and week out. Makes it fun, makes it something to look forward to, and I didn't get a whole lot of practice, but I have been here quite a bit, so I kind of knew what I was getting into. Car was a little loose off a little bit, so we got a handle on it, and we made it happen, man. And thank you, man, up in the booth, man. You're awesome.
All right, Jerry. Well, congratulations once again on third place. And, man, I appreciate the thanks. So good luck to you next week.
Yeah, man. And, before you let me go, I wasn't for sure if Troy got loose there off 4, coming to the, 5 to go or whatever. I thought he got loose off 4, but after looking at it, looks like I might have tapped him just a little bit. But we was racing hard, and, usually when you get up on somebody, they let you go into one, but he battled hard, and that's what we was doing. We was just racing hard. So I'd like to tell Troy I'm sorry about that little contact. I'm glad he recovered.
All right, Jerry, we'll let you get to it. And, man, thank you for hanging out and talking to us.
Hey, man, thank you. Thank you guys watching.
That is Jerry West, third place finisher out there tonight. Guys, there's nothing left for us but the crying. And the crying means it's time to go through our results. Greg Willis picking up his first win of the season. Chris Berg bringing it home second. Jerry West in third. Fourth place going to Troy Radford. And Tom Quattlebaum rounding out your top 5. In sixth place is Tyler Hilton. 7th, AJ Rogers. Brent Cool in 8th. 9th place going to John Johnson. And 10th will be Dustin Ping. Phil Otto 11th. Bobby Summers in 12th. 13th place going to Sean Wilder. 14th will be Aaron Tolhurst. And 15th will be the 88 of Dale Osmond. In 16th place will be Ray Radford, Doug Johnson 17th, 18th Andy Lambert, Nick Zontner 19th, 20th Kyle Gilbert, 21st Chris Medford, 22nd David Roach, 23rd Dustin German, 24th Doug Wysocki, and in 25th will be Russell Brown. Rick Greenaway bringing it home 26th, 27th going to Daryl Ricketts, Preston Boers finishing 28th, 29th is Peyton Johnson, and 30th goes to Zach Coyer. And 31st will be Steve Baker and Tyler Sabo with an early exit, finishing 32nd. So guys, thank you very much for joining me on what was an absolutely wild Darlington race. I hope you all had fun. Make sure you give this broadcast a thumbs up. Check out the links provided down below as well for all of the sponsors. Guys, have a good night, and thank you very much for joining me.